And now I'm very pleased to introduce our guest speaker, Mr. Colin Doolittle. Colin is a professor of engineering at Northwest State Community College. I first met Colin last summer as we were preparing to begin a new program that helps adult students to transition from having a high school diploma or GED to post-secondary education. We know that often that transition can be intimidating and that sometimes individuals need some time to ease into the new world of college-level coursework. We knew that it would take a group of special instructors that could make a group of adult students put forth the effort to tackle college-level work and at the same time feel confident enough to face all of the stressors and challenges that come along with completing their education. We knew that Linda and Bob Pelton, who we just met, and who taught our developmental classes for the program, would be able to fill the bill. But we also needed someone that could teach the Success Seminar, which is a class that's required by the college and focuses on proven strategies for students to be successful in college. Jamila Jones, who was working as a presidential fellow at Northwest State, and who is also here, where are you? There she is, in the back. Jamila promised me that she knew just the right person who could teach this class. I must admit that I had a completely different vision of what a Colin Doolittle would look like. It wasn't the person that she introduced me to at orientation, and maybe that's because I grew up reading the Dr. Doolittle books about the veterinarian who could talk to animals, and I expected to see someone like the distinguished-looking older man with a British accent that I'd seen in the movies. But I admit, I was surprised when Colin walked in. His engaging smile and warm handshake made me feel instantly comfortable. And when I met with the students individually after the first week of their classes, I wasn't surprised at all that they couldn't stop talking about Colin's class. So I'm pleased to introduce to you the man who has impressed so many students, Mr. Colin Doolittle.
I will not live up to what you said. All right, so hello and congratulations, class of 2011. I would like to thank the board and Ann Howard, coordinator of the ABLE program, for this opportunity to speak with you today. You who have been determined enough to take your lives in your own hands. I am truly honored and humbled to be speaking to you. When I was initially asked to have this honor, I didn't understand why they would ask somebody like me to speak with you. And to tell you the truth, I still don't. But you're stuck with me, so we'll just move on from there. I am sure you know individuals that have faced the same roadblocks that you have faced. But they have never taken the steps to go after the dreams. You are the brave ones who have come out on top. No matter what struggles you have faced, you have done what it takes to finish. I tried to think back to ceremonies that I've gone through and what the speakers have said to me. And to be brutally honest, I can't remember a bit of advice that they gave me. So if you remember this fact, I will come out on top too. So, what does it mean to be educated? It is a term that has a broad definition. Education can be formal, with a pen and paper and in a classroom. It can happen through technical skills and trades that we've learned on our own and on the job. Being educated is not limited to the classroom, but to life as well. Today we celebrate you receiving your general education diplomas. But since you have chosen the non-traditional approach to your education, we must also celebrate the fact that you've been educated through living life as well. This is just as important. While employers may require a diploma, it is your non-traditional learning that will get you over the edge. Now you have more power and more control over your future. You may have been skilled technically, but been passed over because you did not have a diploma. That will no longer limit you. You'll no longer have to avoid looking at jobs that require a high school education. You have truly opened up your futures. We all know that Northwest Ohio has fallen on rough times. Our economy is down, unemployment is up, and some people even refer to our area as the Rust Belt, thinking that since the automotive industry is down, we cannot bounce back. But it does not have to remain that way. All of you are an example that change is possible. The reason I feel this to be true is because you did not take the easy route and not go after your GED. Rather, you took the tough route, which means when you see adversity in the future, you will not shy away, but rather stand up and face it head on. You're the type of people that I would want to work with. You're the type of people that I would want to have my back in my career and in my life. So now that you've achieved this goal, it's important to start thinking about what's next. What do I do? What do I want my next goal to be? Do not stop now. You need to have goals and dreams. Remember that a goal is what will get you to your dreams. It is more important than ever. Remember, when you set goals, to make them realistic. And if you don't achieve them right away, it's all right. Just try again and learn from your mistakes. Failure is an important part of life. I faced many adversities and failed many times in my life, but always tried to come back and figure out how to do it better, how to do it differently, and then try again. I personally never respected education when I was younger. I flunked out of college several times before I got it right. The ironic thing is, since I'm now a faculty member at Northwest State, it doesn't make much sense. What made me want to continue on is that I became an engineering manager without a degree. The company I worked for would not pay the appropriate level for what I was doing because they said my educational level was not high enough. I decided from that point on that I would no longer allow my lack of a formal education to hold me back. Don't ever let anybody tell you that you aren't good enough. The scariest part of this whole experience was that I truly started to like to learn. If I had told my mother this, she probably would have had a heart attack and died from laughing so hard. Now that you've achieved the first level of completion, remember now you have taken on more responsibility. You've inherited responsibility to your community, your friends, and your family. The expectations of you have now increased. Make sure that you give back to those who may need help. You need to tell your stories to all. Tell them what it meant to you as individuals and what it means to your families, you receiving your GEDs. You have a responsibility to ask questions and make people accountable for their actions, just as you have become accountable for yours. You have earned the right to do so. So, now that you've opened opportunities up even further, it is important to find something to do that you love. As an engineer, I was afforded the opportunity to travel extensively, which was great at first. However, before long, my travel schedule became very draining. I got to the point that I dreaded the idea of going to work. I dreaded the thought of another day at the office. While I made good money doing my job, I had lost my passion for it. Then I was given the opportunity to teach. While it pays less, there is nothing I would rather be doing than imparting knowledge. Rarely do I even think of my job as my job's work, and that is a truly amazing feeling. You need to follow your passions. Do not let people tell you that you're crazy for doing so. You will make the right decisions for you.
I think so. I don't know how to do it online.
This is something that I want you to think about. Getting your GED is a starting point. It is a gateway to your future. To be competitive today, you will need more.
You should be able to do it later.
Do not stop at your GED. Go on for a certificate, an associate's, a bachelor's, a master's, a doctorate. Continue to learn both formally and informally. Continue to drive yourself further than you ever thought you could go.
You see that little kid?
Looking around at this group and knowing some of you personally, I know you have the drive. I have the honor of working with a very special group of GED recipients. They were the most driven students I've ever had. No excuses, no whining, just drive. A drive that I wish all my students would have. Because of my experience with them, this is how I view you all. I know you have what it takes. You need to understand that you are elite, you are exceptional, and you are the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Colin. We've come to the point in the ceremony where we will be handing out diploma covers for our graduates. So if you'd like to take pictures from your seats now, you can do that. We'll be having a photographer take pictures of the students and as a group when we're finished. So if you will just stay in your seats until we're finished with that.